What up, everybody? This is your boy Dedrian Colon from House of Wrestling. This is my review for the April 14th episode of MLW Fusion. Yes, Major League Wrestling. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow House of Wrestling on all social media platforms. Give a thumbs up for this YouTube video. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Man, I love MLW for the simple fact that because I watch so much WWE, AEW, Impact, New Japan, this is like my break, my escape from it. Roster is tremendous. Their talent is all around in MLW. Shout out to Court Bauer and just the presentation. It's so much fun. My favorite thing that they've implemented in the last year was Cesar Duran. I believe he was the El Jefe for Lucha Underground. If you were a fan of Lucha Underground, and the commissioner that was kind of like the mob boss and everything, he is in MLW. So if you've been out of the loop, man, where is that guy at? He's in MLW. You want to watch it because they've implemented a few things from Lucha Underground into MLW, which, man, it's so much fun watching MLW, and it's only an hour, which makes it even better, where it's just, you get all these things, and they just keep the match, they keep everything simple, yet where it's not, where it doesn't take away from the product. It just goes with the product, and it just flows and everything. But yeah, you get a video package of Cesar Duran being told by Ricky the Dragon Steamboat last week that he's being investigated for all the shady things that he's been doing in MLW and the matchmaking and all that stuff, which is so cool. He gets escorted out by the security. So you get that whole video recap. So then you start the night off with Danny Limelight Rivera. Danny Limelight, he's been in New Japan Strong, AEW, trying to think of where else. I think Warrior Wrestling. I might be wrong. I should know this because I interviewed him on the old podcast that I was on last year. Really cool guy. But he wasn't a cool guy today because he was going after the Von Erichs. He's running them down. He's like, they're in Texas. He's like, I wanted to beat them because it was my body, my choice. He was saying that how him and Slice Boogie were confronted by the cops in LAX, Los Angeles, and they asked him, why did you beat them up? And he basically told them, well, I beat them up because they're weak like their father. That prompted the Von Erichs to come on out, and as they're coming out, lo and behold, you get Hernandez, one of the original members from LAX. He attacks the Von Erichs. They beat the crap out of him. Hernandez, he grabs, I believe it was Ross. Was it Ross Von Erich? Yeah, I believe it was Ross Von Erich. And he has him in the ring like the razor's edge. And mind you, there's a table outside. They call it the border toss. He tosses him straight through the table, like perfectly through the table. Ross Von Erich is there. His brother's there. People are, hurrying to see what's wrong, if he's okay. And there's just this whole chaos. That's how MLW started, which was, I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. And if you've been following them on social media, Danny Limelight and Slice Boogie and the Von Erichs, they just had these videos that, man, simple storytelling, but effective. And it's so fun. From there, you get a video package of Cesar Duran talking about he has something big planned. I don't know if the wrestlers are going to be, the lucha style, the high flying style, the technical style. And he's there with Max Kruger. Max Kruger's like, I just want to end the MLW heavyweight champion, Alex Hammerstone, once and for all. Then we cut back to the arena, and we have a match between TJP and Matt Cross. This was a pretty solid match. TJP, he's been in Impact Wrestling. Of course, he was in WWE 205 Live. This style was like similar to some of his matches in Impact Wrestling, which really, hey, it's enjoyable. First match, hey, it's cool. They did a lot of really cool moves. Matt Cross, he was in Ring of Honor as well. Um, it, I, man, I really like this match just starting off and everything because they were building to some good stuff later on. But man, great opening match. Matt Cross gets the W. He looked good. You know, see where it goes with him in the. Believe they have the middleweight title. So yeah, with MLW, they don't normally use. They actually use, I believe, MMA terms for like their titles, like their mid, like their for their divisional titles. Even like the women's title is like a featherweight title, so they use more of like an MMA terminology to describe their divisions within their championships. So then you get a video from Alex Hammerstone. I like this video because he mentions Matt Holliday, that's a baseball player. Richard Holliday was his best friend for 3 years when MJF, or he refers to MJF as Maxwell, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, aka MJF from AEW. They were part of the, was it the Dynasty? There you go. When Max left, a few years ago, it was the two of us. When my girlfriend was diagnosed with cancer, you called. That's what, like, he was bringing up some real stuff, and it's like, yo, this is a deep program. The only issue I had was the camera was like moving up and down, and it's like you didn't have to move up and down. Just get that nice shot and just let them just roll. This was a really good promo by Alex Hammerstone. I loved it. I enjoyed it. It got me more interested and intrigued into the rivalry of Alex Hammerstone, Richard Holliday, and Alicia Atout. Forgive me. But man, he brought up how long was it an act. You're never happy. You were just jealous. Man, this was some good stuff. I can't wait for their match because that is going to be a grudge match that is going to be awesome to watch. After that, you get an exclusive video of Alex Kane coming to the arena. He's protesting the match. There's not enough challengers, and basically he ends it like, my mission is submission. Like, I don't care what you do, you're gonna submit. Then you get a video package of Taya Valkyrie. Yes, Taya Valkyrie will be returning to MLW. This doesn't mean that she's specifically exclusively for MLW. Her appearance is for the MLW Coliseum event that they're having. I can't remember the date or anything. But yeah, she's going to be appearing there. It's going to be cool. Hey, the MLW knows how to take these big names and just bring them through and add some. Man, it's so fun watching this. Then you get a match between Holidead with Gangrel and Dr. Dax with Shazzy McKenzie. This was a very good women's match. I'm familiar with Holidead's work on AEW Dark. I know Shazzy McKenzie. I've seen a few matches of hers on YouTube and everything. This was a really good women's match. They weren't doing too much. They just, if you keep it simple and just communicate, that's all we need as viewers. Just keep it simple. We'll understand the rest. And this was a really good match. Holidead looked terrific. Shazzy McKenzie looked good. This was a good match. Very good match. She wins post-match. She has no plans to fight in the women's featherweight division. She just wants to be the featherweight division. So, kind of like the Joker, I just want to watch the world burn. Pretty cool promo and everything. She is a character. I know she's been in Ring of Honor. Keep an eye out on her. Holidead. She might wind up in Tony Khan's Ring of Honor. Who knows? But keep an eye on that. From there, we get another video. This was another video that I loved. I recommend you watch this episode of MLW Fusion. So you get Cesar Duran, and he's playing his guitar, and Jacob Fatu comes in, and he's just talking down on him, and Cesar Duran's like, I should do something since you interrupted me with playing with my instrument. And it was like, oh, okay, this was good. Basically, man, if you've never seen Jacob Fatu, Jacob Fatu is related to the Usos, and he's related to Roman Reigns. His dad was the Tongan Kid, who was the tag team partner of Rikishi when they were the Samoan SWAT team in the NWA. So they were brothers, and Rikishi is his uncle, so that's the lineage. But man, this dude, he was street. Like, people talk about Eddie Kingston, being like Eddie Kingston street, but Jacob Fatu is street. Like, he could give Eddie Kingston a run for his money. Like, that would be a cool feud. But man, he basically talks down on Cesar Duran. He's like, I don't care who I gotta beat, and blah blah blah. And he basically tells Cesar Duran, keep playing with me, I'm gonna beat your punk ass. And I'm changing the word punk ass because he used another word I'm not gonna use on here. But he's like, I'm gonna keep playing with me, I'll beat your punk ass, and walks out. Like, watch that whole segment. That, man, I enjoyed Jacob Fatu. Man, the brother is entertaining. I don't know if he plans on going to WWE or what, but man, if he does, that would be a cool added element to that whole Bloodline storyline, because I don't see him, if he did go there, I wouldn't see him taking orders from Roman. I would see him like, yo, you ain't the tribal chief, you don't run the, like, brother, man, I love him. Then we get a video package of Alex Hammerstone just recapping everything that he's gone through as world champion. Really cool. Simple video and everything. Then we get another video of Richard Holiday and Alicia Toot. Basically, he's upset that Alex Hammerstone is getting all this notoriety and how, he doesn't deserve it. He basically man, he runs down Alex Hammerstone. Like, I'm like, damn, like, I'm watching this, I'm like, man, is this like the night of like running down people? Like, they did it on Impact. But man, he said he started off skinny and he enhanced himself, alluding to something helping Alex Hammerstone get bulky. He's like, it's a good, or Alicia Toot's like, it's a good thing that Cesar Duran's back, because now we can get that title. But man, this feud with Richard Holiday and Alex Hammerstone, kudos to MLW. They built up the feud with Jacob Fatu and Alex Hammerstone for like a year, which was so good. Oh man, that was so good. And just the feud with Alex Hammerstone and Richard Holiday, man, this is, oh my God, this is so good. I love it. Then you get Calvin Tankman. He's at ringside. Then you have a 5-way match between Puma King, ACH, Myron Reed, Juicy Finay, and Alex Kane. This was a relatively, it had a few high spots with Puma King and everything, but this was a relatively like short match. Alex Kane wound up winning. It was like very, very quick, surprisingly, because usually the main events on MLW are pretty, like, yeah, this was just boom, boom, boom. It was like, oh, that's it? Like, the fin, like, I was like, oh man, that was it, all right. But the cool thing was, of course, Alex Kane wins, and you hear Calvin Tankman talking and everything. Alex Kane comes on there, he starts getting in Calvin Tankman's face, and he's with his oh man, his side guy. Forgive me, guys. I believe his name is the Boss. Forgive me. I tweeted and I don't have it in my notes. But he's with his bodyguard, and they're just egging on Calvin Tankman. Calvin Tankman's not taking crap from them, and the announcer's like, "Hey, we need to get security out here because this is gonna blow up." And Myra Reed gets in there, and he's kind of helping him out. Then he walks off, and then EJ and Duque comes out, and before you know it, they're in there, and all of a sudden, Alex Kane grabs a chair, bam, hits Calvin Tankman. Alex Kane and his bodyguard, they leave, and that's how the show ends. So that's what happened with MLW Fusion on April 14th. My favorite part of this episode was the Jacob Fatu interaction with Cesar Duran, when he basically told him, "Keep messing with me, I'm gonna beat your punk ass." That was funny. The Alex Hammerstone promo, love that. Again, this was a very fun show. I also did like the opening segment with Danny Limelight and Hernandez coming out. It's the other thing I liked. But man, this was a fun show. Look, if you haven't watched MLW in a while, or you're like, I hear about MLW, but I never watched it, I recommend you guys watch it. It's an hour. It's easy to watch, where you'll pick up on the storylines, and man, it's so much fun. They have a talented roster there. You will not be disappointed with the matches that you get on MLW, and man, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this episode. It was so fun. Like, it's just fun. And I think that's what's missing in a lot of other companies, is because there's so much attention and just, I don't want to say pressure, but expectation of the I don't want to say the quality, but just, the expectation of they have to deliver big. And with MLW, the expectation isn't as high. I mean, there is an expectation, but it's a fun expectation. Like, hey, I know what I'm getting with MLW. I'm just going to get some fun wrestling. They got some really cool characters, and things make sense here. So, all right, let me just enjoy this, and hey, just enjoy the wrestling. So, shout out to Court Bauer, doing a really good job with MLW. Man, that's my review for the April 14th episode of MLW Fusion from Dallas, Texas. Check it out, please. Check out MLW. You'll have fun, man. You will have fun. They got some characters here, and the other thing that I want to mention, and I don't want to forget this, and I've mentioned this before, is if you liked Lucha Underground and you like the El Jefe, the mob boss, Cesar Duran is on MLW. So that's what adds so much to this, where it's like, oh man, it's almost like a variation of Lucha Underground, with a more like Ring of Honor type style almost. Not with the honor code or anything, but just like that. So, but yeah, this is like a variation of Lucha Underground, if you were a fan of Lucha Underground. So, yeah, if you were a fan of Lucha Underground and the Mob Boss, you're going to enjoy MLW and Cesar Duran, Alex Hammerstone, Jacob Fatu, and Richard Holiday, Alicia Toot, Danny Limelight, 5150. You're going to enjoy these guys. The Von Erichs, you're going to enjoy them, because this is some fun wrestling. And I love it. I love it. I recommend it. But yeah, that is my review for the April 14th episode of MLW Fusion. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Leave a thumbs up for this video. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Like always, stop fighting over wrestling, man. Enjoy it, man. This is a fun art form. All right? There's so much wrestling. Quit fighting and just man, enjoy all these wrestlers and these characters that we are privileged to have in 2022. All right, with that, I'm out.